Of course.
Well, you know what? Keep the mustache. A lion does not disturb himself with the beliefs of sheep.
So I like that. That sounds like a guy who got arrested for like public indecency. What he would say.
Yeah, I don't know.
A lion doesn't concern himself with the concerns of sheep. Sir, this is a school zone for the last time.
That's the bumper sticker right next to like the sovereign citizen bumper sticker.
Yes. Kyle brought that up. That your most recent video was. He said it was about sovereign citizens. I was praying because I haven't seen it yet, that it was you doing sovereign citizen shit, but it's probably not, right?
Like me, like
getting pulled over and saying that you're a naval vessel.
That would have been a really funny bit. Other than the jail time that would be associated with that attempt. Yeah. So I got beat to death on the news.
Is there any truth to these sovereign citizens?
Absolutely not. They it's comedic. It's like the QAnon level of like there's a secret war happening underneath the pavement of DC and they're shooting at each other and stuff like that. It's like that, but for legal systems, like judges and stuff like that.
Okay.
It feels like it should be possible to exist on this earth without like being a part of somebody's rule set. Like you can exist in the water, right? International waters. You can be on a sailboat. Not really too welcome anywhere. Just doing your own thing. You are the king of your own boat. But here on land, it doesn't happen that way. Is there any place?
I agree with you. It is their reasoning for why they should be allowed to do that makes me upset.
Okay.
In a vacuum. Because like their whole thing is that the reason they're a sovereign citizen is because the United States government does not exist. And it's actually a corporation that is an extension of the UK. So any law that exists in the United States is just maritime law or admiralty law, because we're just like a military extension of the British Navy. They have reasonings for this. Like the reason that American flags have gold fringes on them in courtrooms is because it is an extension of the British Royal Navy. Or the bar that lawyers are judged against is short for the British Accreditation Registry. So they have all these like secret conspiracies. No.
I don't know what it does stand for. It doesn't sound right.
I've never questioned it. I don't think if it's British Accreditation Registry, I will register myself as a sovereign citizen.
That would be so funny if in your research you were like, wait, what? I've been paying taxes for no reason.
So much sense.
Yeah, I could just wear an admiral hat and walk around free.
It doesn't stand for anything.
It's just
a metaphoric bar that you have to cross or get over.
Yeah,
that's
what they want you to think.
Good for them being creative.
Yeah,
I've watched a lot of sovereign citizen stuff, and I've never seen anyone successfully use it as a defense. What I have seen is people use it as a defense, and the judge say, "Well, there was no probable cause for this whole thing to begin, so you're free to go." And they're like, "Ha ha! Sovereign citizen wins again." And it's like, no, you didn't win, sir. We lost.
Yeah,
like you moron. And then I've also seen those guys who are like, I am the individual known as Kyle. I am traversing the roadways, but I am traveling. I am not traversing the roadways. I am a free man.
Yeah,
right. I am Kyle. You were speaking to the vessel Woody somehow. Like that makes sense.
Yeah. So the idea with that is, since the United States is a corporation, the reason we are a corporation is because at some point in history, and it's debated when this point is. Most say the Civil War. Others will say like 1933 when we left the gold standard. At some point in history, the United States ran out of money. So in order to leverage ourselves for money, we began to use people as a credit system to other governments like Great Britain. So rather than having money, we just have loans that we take from other countries every time someone in the United States is born, based on the potential income they can make across their life, which as they make that income and pay in taxes, that tax money goes to the UK or whatever government actually owns us. So because of that, whenever you're born, your birth certificate is effectively a bill of sale that is created, establishing you as an entity that is just a piece of leverage for the United States government to use. I know this all makes so much sense. So because of that, on a birth certificate, if you'll notice, your name is written in all capital letters. Whereas you, the person, Woody, Kyle, Taylor, your name is not typically spelled with all capital letters. This is how they get you.
Yeah.
Because the version of you that is in all capital letters is not actually you. That is the corporate entity that has been assigned to the leverage of Great Britain. Whereas you with lowercase letters is you, the actual person.
Yeah. Makes
so
sense.
therefore, if you can separate yourself from yourself, all capital letters business entity, then you are entitled.
I saw him do it.
Yeah.
I'm your witness.
Is that why my birth certificate after my name says LLC?
They hide that one on you. They sneak that in there.
That's sneaky. It's very small text.
If you're able to separate yourself from that corporate entity, because you have figured out their game, you are entitled to all of the money that corporate entity is leveraged against the other government. So you can sign off on your taxes, on checks, on any paper documentation to charge it to your social security number or to your name in all caps. And that is your trick way of letting the government know that you're on to their scheme.
Like this is one of those, this is like a conspiracy theory, except there's like a whole judicial system whose job is to prove that it's false. It would be like if there were an anti-Bigfoot society that could send you to jail every time you piped up about a Sasquatch. That's why you would imagine this would die out, because every time some loon pulls out his little 3-ring trapper keeper binder out on the highway like a 4th grader and says, no, actually, I don't need car insurance or registration. I'm fucking traveling, not driving. And then they knock his goddamn window out, drag him through the glass and throw him in jail. And he's like, what happened? And then they take him to court and they have like 8 professionals explain it slowly, incarcerate him, fine him successfully. And then he comes back out of that situation.
If I were a judge, I'd have fun with that. I'd have fun with that as the judge and be like, throw him in the brig. And he'd be like, no. So you know it's but like I know it's easy to make fun of, and it is retarded, but can you imagine a higher level of like joy and carefree just lightness than in that first month before you're caught and you're just committing check fraud? You're just you think you've got the world by the balls. You have the best month of all time, and then you get pulled over for, driving 85 in a residential area or something, and you get arrested. That would be a fun time.
What they'll do is, because sometimes you'll hear stories about them getting away with it or winning in court cases, because their favorite like half of the sovereign citizen thing revolves around paperwork. Like it's about paperwork about your full name. Never refer to yourself as your name, because that's your legal entity. Refer to yourself as the person existing on Earth as known as John, son of Smith, or whatever, rather than just calling yourself John Smith. You can never say I understand to a judge or to a police officer, because that is declaring yourself as under the standing of the legal system. You have to say things like comprehend. Like there's so many little nitpicks like that. They love to focus in on minutia of things. And the way that they'll get off of like legal things sometimes is they'll get pulled over for like a speeding ticket or running a red light, and they will fill the local court systems with more paperwork than that court system has ever seen. It happens in like small county departments a lot, where someone like runs a red light, gets pulled over, and then a week later, every individual of the county has been subpoenaed by some lawyer that they've hired from Alaska. And now, like, the court has to individually say no to all of them. And then all the police officers will have, like, these tax reports filed against them by some unknown entity. So what happens is these small police departments that can't do anything about it just let the guy go, because the alternative is they work for a year and a half and then win $200.
Okay, so it seems like this works if you have time and you stay in small towns.
Like what he just described could almost be done absent of the sovereign citizen argument.
Correct. Yeah.
Like you could do. I think they call it the nuclear option sometimes with lawyers, like really just flooding them with requests. It's often done. You send the opposition all these little requests. Oh, we need this file, we need that file. But instead of sending a list, you send 10,000 requests, and they got to process them all. And you run the other guy into the poorhouse trying to answer them all and pay all that court costs. But like that would work without pretending like you're an admiral or some shit.
Okay, well now you're just a criminal. Where's the fun? Where's the flavor?
The FBI,
I'm wearing the hat.
I'm wearing that.
The
I was Lord Nelson
cites
things like
that as paper terrorism. That is their term for it.
Paper terror. So they're just like DOSing someone.
It's like paper DDoS.
A little dramatic.
Yeah.
It's paper murder. It's like murder, but not.
It's like not at all that, but it's bothersome.
Actually, we threw in a word there for drama that's not really related to this.
I don't know. I would love to see a video of somehow the perfect storm occurring and one of these guys like getting off because of some obscure naval law. That doesn't seem at all possible because this is all made up.
They do. Well, what they'll do is they will take words and excerpts from actual legal stuff, but most of the time it doesn't apply. Like I saw one guy in court quoting the Magna Carta, and it's like, okay, that has nothing.
Saw that.
No one even uses that for anything. That was like a concept book. But the best one, and the one that gets used a lot, is there are like black supremacist movements who tie onto it. The Moorish Science Temple specifically. So they believe every black person, or at least themselves in the United States, to be descendants from ancient Moroccans. And one of the first documents in United States history is something called the Moroccan Friendship Treaty, which was in like 1780. John Adams signed it. It was an agreement of trade routes between the United States and Morocco, effectively saying we have good standing for open ports with each other. Which, fun fact, is the still longest existing treaty in United States history.
Our oldest friend, Morocco,
our oldest friend. Well, so you hear that and you're like, oh, okay, there's some legitimacy there. But this is a document from the 1780s that say we have good standing with trade routes. So Moorish Science Temple sovereign citizens will take that to mean that any Moroccan citizen, which to them is any black person that they say it is in the United States, does not have to abide by any United States laws because they are
is that what's been going on this whole time? I feel bad. I've been holding it against y'all. I'm so goddamn sorry.
Dude, do these guys have a podcast I can listen to? Or like, because it seems like the funniest. Do these guys have like a rivalry with the Black Israelites where they're like, we're the Jews, and they're like, no, we're Moroccans.
So that's what that's saying. There is so the sovereign citizen thing actually starts from Christian nationalism, which was Christian identity, the Christian identity movement, which was a white supremacist group that popped up in the 50s that said white Europeans are the actual Israelites of the Bible, God's the whole chosen people or whatever. So you have one side that thinks that they are the true Israelites and another side that says that they are the true Israelites. So it's like
that's how I know we're the good guys, Taylor. Is because like we don't make up any bullshit like that. And look, I know Jesus was a Jewish carpenter and he looked brown. I know he had an afro, and I bet he was 5'6". I bet Joe Rogan was taller than that dude.
Like, think he was thrifty?
I bet he was ugly. I bet Jesus was fucking ugly, dude. What I want Jesus to look like is Wendigoon. I want Jesus to look just like Wendigoon, not the beard though. Like I want him to be a handsome white guy with blue eyes. But like we had some of them blue-eyed Jesuses on the wall at my church. I went to a church of God.